Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Now in today's video, I would like to give you some updates of the visa news and what has been happening over the past week. A lot of people notice that I haven't been uploading video for a week. Obviously it's due to the issue of the coronavirus outbreaks all around the world. There's news coming in every minute nowadays, and it's all affecting the whole world and also towards your visa. Now in today's video, I'm gonna update you of what I have received from the Migration Institute of Australia, of the news about how to deal with all these travel bans and what is in the procedure and recommendation for people coming on board abroad into Australia or staying out of Australia, and what should be done, and now also adding of some people who's actually holding student visa or temporary visa in Australia now, what should be done, what can be done. Okay, so let's jump into the actual web page. So let's have a look. This is the Migration Institute of Australia. Now the news came out yesterday of the 15th of March, so it's notice 23. And obviously there has been a lot of news developed overnight, and at this point in time, everybody is experiencing and expecting the stock to actually plunge another week. So looks like the recession is already here. So if you do hold any stocks or shares, good luck. If you do have opportunity, I will really suggest and advise to actually get those off your hand, get it sold so you can get the cash back in order to go through this period of time. Okay, so the travel ban will continue to go on for mainland China, so that means Hong Kong, Macau, Taiwan is not included. So Iran, South Korea, Italy remain in place, and on midnight of 15th of March 2020, all those following are required. All those anyone arriving into Australia is required to have self-isolation of 14 days. So now the problem is, if you're a traveler or business traveler or visitor into Australia, now the problem is, once you arrive, you go into a hotel, you were thinking about staying for 3 days in a hotel and go and visit your friend and staying other places. No, you cannot get that done anymore. You have to stay in the hotel for 14 days, and you cannot even leave the room to actually purchase food or go on the street to buy some good, to get some steak or fine dining. You have to stay in where you are and order your food to be, probably get Uber Eats or things like that, but also the concierge services, in-room services, and you got to be lock yourself in for 14 days. So it's very, very undesirable, and I don't believe anyone will actually conduct any travel into Australia, and also including New Zealand as well. So that is going to affect a lot on the business, because if you do go out and get caught, and do remember, Australia is implementing and employ a lot of police out there to actually watching these arrival visitors. So they will impose a heavy penalty if you do not comply. So obviously, do not travel, do not go to Australia now. That's what they try to say. Okay, international cruise ship. Again, a sad story. They don't allow these cruise ship to dock and port at the Australian port for the next 30 days. So I see in the news there's a cruise ship in Caribbean Sea in the southern Pacific. Now they're just cruising around. They cannot find a port to dock themselves and also get they can get fueled by a lot of international sea fuelers, but they just cannot find anywhere to stop the cruise, and that's gonna affect the whole industry. So I think a lot of bankruptcies and closing down and start going head towards the bottom of these cruises business or companies is gonna happen for the next 2 or 3 months or even earlier. Now, special arrangement for airline maritime cruise staff specific containment arrangement are in place, so they can treat that. But problem, let's say cruise stuff. I mean, maritime cruise stuff. They don't allow cruise ship. I believe that will be fishing boats and all other type of sea traveling transportations. So cruise ship is specifically banned. Now that's a big ban there. Okay. Now Australian citizen and permanent resident, so you're not prevented to enter into Australia, but the only issue that you face of is that you may find difficulty to find airline, and you got to be very, very careful, because we notice there's a lot of people. I'm currently in Taiwan at the moment. Yesterday there were 6 COVID-19 diagnosed personnel in Taiwan. They did not get the viruses from Taiwan itself. They got it while they're doing traveling. So traveling is a very, very high risk activity at the moment. So bear in mind, do not travel in these coming 2 weeks or probably month. So obviously your traveling industry will be affected badly as well. So anyway, if you do seek to travel, if you're a citizen or permanent resident, you can still go to Australia, but you need to do self-isolation as well, 14 days. And if you're in immediate family of the Australian citizen or permanent resident, that includes spouse, minor dependents, and legal guardians, you can still go there, but again, self-isolation guideline will still be there in place. Okay, partnering immediate families or Australian citizens holding temporary visa. Now that's I think that covers all there. So if you do require extension or anything, there's a link here. If you cannot find it, you can leave a comment down below. I can send a link to you. Consult with the immigration where and when you should do this. Now, visa holders are currently unsure. Predominantly are travelers, and you cannot return back due to either there's an outbreak in your home country, or there's a ban, or there is not even a flight going back home. So you're required to go for no further stay waiver, and that's under the form 1447. Consult with your agent, or if you do not have any agent, more than welcome to leave a comment down below. We can help you out as well with the minor fees. You need to get these conditions waived in order to actually apply for the next visa onshore to stay in Australia. So okay, so visa holder offshore. Now that's bad thing. If you get visa already granted, you can't even come in. So the problem still occurs, and I suggest that you consult with your agent or department post from whatever the event or employments or studies for the next term or next semester or whatever the next availability. Bridging visa B, that's a sad thing, because you cannot extend your bridging visa B. So all you need to do is wait for it to be expired and then apply for another visitor visa to come into Australia, and then get that bridging visa A to be attached back again. And that's a hard thing to do, because that's another procedure, and it's going to cost money as well. So for all the protection visa holders, travel condition attached, affected and restricted as possible. So you need to write to this travel.request at homeaffairs.gov.au in order to get more information about this. Now, applicant required to go onshore lodgement visa. So that's a hard thing as well, because if there's no flights, you can't even go to Australia, you can't even lodge it. And I would suggest that you probably lodge offshore, or you have to wait. All you need to do is wait. But either it's going to be 14 days. Do you think this will end in 14 days? I don't think so. That's only the minimum requirement for self-isolation. But the whole outbreaks, if you look at the news press of the Prime Minister Scott Morrison yesterday, they showing out the graph. They want to extend the outbreak longer so they can treat it with their medical supplies in Australia. That means 14 days will not end. I think it was likely to go for 3, 4, 5 months. Okay. Now the rest of it is coming down to New Zealand incoming travel. So New Zealand do have a stricter ban as well. They ban anyone traveling into Australia and except the Pacific Islanders. So all these island countries can still go to New Zealand, but just bear in mind you may find difficulty to find flights, and also make sure that you get safe as well. Now, one of the recommendations that what we do in Taiwan, I wanted to share with you is that make sure you get access to medical masks. So if you go to places where there's a lot of people there, make sure you got a mask on. Now, we do notice that a lot of these viruses are not contracted over your mouth or your nose. Mostly they are people going and touching whatever because you don't know what the floor or the wall or the table has been touched, or people have been sneezed on, and things like you don't know. So make sure everywhere you go, go wash your hand with sanitizers, okay? Because that's predominantly and most commonly get infected, because once you touch the things and you unknowingly you probably touch your mouth, touch your eyes, touch your nose, and you get affected that way. So make sure you get that all done. Now finally, I wanted to advise that if you waiting for a student visa, or you got kids going to school and you do have concern of heading to school because Australia does not announce of the school closures due to the outbreaks. If you do have concern, I strongly suggest that you just contact the school, let them know that you're not feel comfortable with it. School understands, because they are in big concerns where they're dealing with hundreds of thousands of kids every day. They're in concern as well. Let them know you have that concern, and just mark up with the leave for a couple days or weeks if that's required. I think that's a more appropriate. Now, people who have paid the tuition fees but have not lodged the visa yet, there's a potential possibility to get a refund, as this outbreaks is beyond anyone's control. So I believe under the policy or law, relevant law, you should be able to deem those refund back as well. So make sure you get the money back, and then go through this period of pandemic period, and then half a year later or next semester return back to school. I think that will be the best advice that I can give to you. But anyway, if you do have any other comments or any other questions, feel free to leave down below. And finally, if you do like our video, consider to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure you get the bell ticked, so once we get the news updates, you should be the first one of getting those information. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.